1018 now. Well, this museum has the sole purpose of sharing your heartbreak stories and symbolic possessions.
Oh, so to tell us more about how it got started, we are joined by Olinka Vistica this morning, and she has more on what exactly is behind all of this museum. So good morning to you. First, just tell us what you'll find. The Museum of Broken Hearts.
It's called Museum of Broken Relationships, but yeah, there are many broken hearts or broken-hearted stories in the museum. So it's a project started like 16 years ago, which kind of collects remnants of past loves that are represented by an object and the story connected to it. So it has traveled the world. We have been to 50 cities around the world. Wow. And we have amassed a collection which varies from, sneakers, toasters, paintings, photographs, but also, garden gnomes, which all are witnesses to a love that is no longer there.
Yeah. So, Olinka, I'm looking at the website, and as you mentioned, you've traveled all over the world. You've got all these different locations that some of those broken hearts have landed. And then if you scroll down, you get a chance to see some of the vignettes of the stories and the items that you mentioned, for example, like the shoes and such. But these stories really are heartbreaking. A lot of them coming out of the time of the pandemic. One is about, basically being catfished during the pandemic. Another about someone who passed from a disease. I mean, where do you get the content? How are you meeting these people virtually?
You would be surprised, but people do send their objects and stories by themselves. So there is an online form on the website. If you go to the link contribute, anyone anywhere in the world can fill in the form and send the exhibit to Zagreb, Croatia, or sometimes when we tour and we have our touring exhibitions, then there is a separate link where you can send your story. And that's how our collection grew. Because when we come to a city, let's say Sacramento, we would probably come with a part of our collection, but our local partner would be in charge of, animating the community and gathering local stories. So I can tell that our collection is some kind of testimony to the ways we love and lose in the past 100 years.
Wow.
And you are right, the stories can be sad and heartbreaking, but at the same time, I think and that's the reaction of our visitors, when you go through all these stories, you can still feel the heartbeat behind every story of the persons who have survived, who have passed on. And you feel that we as human beings, that human connection and love is such an important thing in our lives. And no matter how badly it ends, I think every one of us is still ready to give a love a new chance. So we like to call it Museum of Love, but just upside down.
I love it. Olinka Vistica, thank you so much. I was just looking at a drawing of us made by a stranger on the train.
Yeah.
And it's a story about, how a couple was together. They ended up getting separated because the woman went abroad, and then he reached out to see if they could rekindle things, and she said, sorry, you're a few months too late, but he couldn't, get rid of the drawing. He decided it was just it meant too much to hold on to it, and so that's really cool. Just something that you can see again on their website. We're going to have all that linked up on our website, gooddaysacramento.com, so you can take a look at that and read some of the stories. It's heartbreaking, but it's also a little inspiring.
And a little therapy, maybe.
Yeah, a little therapy.
Thank you, Olinka.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And have a good day.
Oh, you likewise. All right. Thank you.